Samuel L. Jackson has spent more than 5 decades convincing audiences that he can be dangerous, fearless, hilarious, brilliant, and completely in control, sometimes all in the same movie. But there is one role he has played for far longer than any character on screen. Husband. For more than 4 decades, Samuel has been married to actress and producer LaTanya Richardson Jackson. And their story didn't begin in Hollywood's spotlight. It began when they were young, long before Samuel became Jules Winnfield, Mace Windu or Nick Fury. There were no billion-dollar franchises. No red carpets. No blockbuster salaries. Just 2 young people trying to build lives and careers. And then life tested them. Career struggles. Addiction. Recovery. Fame. Family. Hollywood pressure. Through all of it, LaTanya remained by Samuel's side. So how did this relationship begin? Did Samuel L. Jackson have other famous romances? How did his marriage survive his rise to international fame? And what is the story behind his daughter, Zoe? Let's take a deeper look at the private life of one of Hollywood's most recognizable men. Before the fame, Samuel meets LaTanya. Long before Samuel L. Jackson became a household name, he was a young student at Morehouse College in Atlanta, Georgia. He had originally been studying marine biology, but his interests were beginning to change. Theater had captured his attention. And around this period, he met LaTanya Richardson. LaTanya was also pursuing a career in the performing arts. The two connected through their shared interests and eventually began a relationship. This detail is important because Samuel was not famous when they met. He wasn't a Hollywood star. He wasn't making blockbuster movies. He wasn't even close to becoming the actor the world knows today. He was simply Samuel, and LaTanya fell in love with Samuel before Samuel L. Jackson became a brand. 2 young performers with big dreams. Samuel and LaTanya had something important in common. They were both artists. Both were interested in acting. Both understood the excitement and uncertainty of trying to make it in entertainment. But neither had a guarantee that their dreams would work out. The entertainment business can be brutal. There are countless talented performers who never become household names. There are endless auditions, rejections, financial uncertainty, and years of waiting for opportunities. Samuel and LaTanya experienced that uncertainty together. And that shared struggle became part of the foundation of their relationship. They weren't simply dating during Samuel's rise. They were growing together before the rise even happened. The woman WHO saw the man before the star. This may be one of the most important details about their relationship. LaTanya knew Samuel during his ordinary years. She knew him before the world recognized his voice. Before his signature sunglasses. Before Pulp Fiction. Before Star Wars. Before Marvel. Before the millions of dollars. Before the awards. That means their relationship was never originally based on his celebrity. There was no celebrity status to attract her. There was no movie star lifestyle. There was just a young man trying to find his way. And that history would become incredibly valuable later. Their marriage in 1980. Samuel L. Jackson and LaTanya Richardson married in 1980. At that time, Samuel's biggest career breakthrough was still years away. He had spent time developing his acting skills in theater. He was still working his way toward the film roles that would eventually transform his life. In other words, LaTanya didn't marry a superstar. She married an aspiring actor. They were building their lives together at a time when Samuel's future was far from certain. And that makes their eventual Hollywood success story even more remarkable. The early years of their marriage. The first years of their marriage were not the glamorous Hollywood fantasy people might imagine. Samuel was still working. He was appearing in theater productions and gradually taking on film roles. He worked with organizations such as the Negro Ensemble Company, which was an important part of his development as a performer. LaTanya was also building her own acting career. The couple therefore experienced the entertainment business from the ground up. There was no guarantee that Samuel would become a movie star. There was no guarantee that LaTanya would become a successful performer. They simply kept working. Before they had Hollywood money, they had Hollywood dreams. LaTanya's own career. It is important not to tell Samuel's love story as if LaTanya was simply the wife of a famous actor. She had her own career. LaTanya Richardson Jackson is an accomplished actress and producer with extensive experience in theater, television and film. She appeared in productions including For Colored Girls Who Have Considered Suicide, When the Rainbow Is Enough, among other projects. She also became involved in producing and continued working in the entertainment industry. So when Samuel came home after a difficult day on a film set, he was coming home to someone who understood the business. She knew what rejection felt like. She knew the pressure of performing. She understood auditions. She understood the uncertainty, and that shared professional experience gave their relationship an unusual level of understanding. Their daughter, Zoe Jackson. In 1982, Samuel and LaTanya welcomed their daughter, Zoe Jackson. Zoe became the couple's only child. That means Samuel's family remained relatively small. He grew up as an only child himself, and later became the father of one daughter. Zoe grew up with two parents working in entertainment. Her father was building an acting career. Her mother was also pursuing acting and theater. But instead of simply becoming famous because of her parents, Zoe developed her own professional interests. She eventually worked in the entertainment industry as a producer and director. Growing up with Samuel L. Jackson as your father. Imagine being a child and realizing that your father is becoming one of the most recognizable actors in the world. Your dad is Jules Winnfield. Your dad is Mace Windu. Your dad is Nick Fury. Millions of people know his face. Millions know his voice. And yet, inside the home, he's simply dad. That contrast must have been fascinating. Samuel's celebrity could have completely overshadowed his family. But the Jackson family generally maintained a relatively private life. Zoe was able to pursue her own professional identity rather than simply becoming a celebrity child. The challenge that tested everything, addiction. One of the most difficult periods in Samuel's life came during his struggle with addiction. Before his major breakthrough, Jackson battled drug addiction. His substance abuse became serious and eventually threatened his career and personal life. In 1991, he entered rehabilitation. This was a major turning point. Getting sober wasn't simply about saving his career. It was about saving himself. And his family was an important part of the life he was trying to rebuild. For a marriage, that kind of period can be incredibly difficult. But Samuel and LaTanya stayed together. Recovery and a new beginning. After rehabilitation, Jackson returned to acting. And something extraordinary happened. His career began accelerating. He appeared in Spike Lee's Jungle Fever, portraying Gator Purify. The role was intense and deeply personal. Jackson's performance received a Special Acting Award at the 1991 Cannes Film Festival. Suddenly, the actor who had spent years struggling was getting serious attention. It was almost as if Samuel had been given another chance. And this time, he was ready. Then came Pulp Fiction. In 1994, Samuel's career changed forever. Quentin Tarantino cast him as Jules Winnfield in Pulp Fiction. The performance became iconic. Samuel's voice, his timing, his stare, his confidence, his delivery, everything came together. He received an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor and won the BAFTA Award for Best Supporting Actor. Samuel L. Jackson was now a major international star. And LaTanya was there to witness the transformation. The man she had married years earlier was suddenly one of the most recognizable actors in Hollywood. Fame changed everything, except the foundation. After Pulp Fiction, Samuel's career exploded. He began receiving major roles. Then came Die Hard with a Vengeance, A Time to Kill, Jackie Brown, The Negotiator, Unbreakable, Coach Carter, Star Wars, Django Unchained, and eventually Marvel. His workload became enormous. His fame became global. His professional opportunities multiplied. But his marriage continued. That is what makes the relationship so interesting. The relationship began before the fame, and survived the fame. Star Wars and the new level of fame. When Samuel became Mace Windu in the Star Wars prequel trilogy, his global profile became even larger. Suddenly, children and adults around the world knew him. His purple lightsaber became iconic. He was no longer simply a respected actor. He was part of one of the biggest franchises in film history. And still, behind all of that, There was LaTanya. Marvel, when Samuel became Nick Fury. Then came another enormous franchise. Samuel appeared as Nick Fury in Iron Man in 2008. That small appearance became the beginning of a major Marvel journey. Jackson eventually appeared in numerous Marvel productions. His character connected different stories and helped establish the larger Marvel Cinematic Universe. Once again, Samuel became part of a global phenomenon. And once again, his family remained a constant behind the scenes. Did fame create other romantic relationships? Unlike many Hollywood celebrities, Samuel L. Jackson has not built his public image around a long list of famous romantic relationships. There have been no major series of high-profile celebrity romances dominating tabloids throughout his career. His long-term relationship with LaTanya Richardson has been the defining love story of his adult life. That doesn't mean every private detail of his personal life is publicly known. It simply means that LaTanya has remained the central publicly known partner throughout his adult life. And perhaps that's one reason their marriage has become so notable. Why their relationship is so different from typical Hollywood romances. Hollywood loves drama. Breakups make headlines. Celebrity couples attract paparazzi. New romances generate social media speculation. But Samuel and LaTanya have generally taken a different approach. They have maintained their relationship without turning every private moment into public entertainment. They have built careers, raised a daughter, supported each other, and continued their marriage. Their story is not loud. It's long. And sometimes longevity says more than headlines ever could. They both had to sacrifice. A successful Hollywood marriage isn't easy. Samuel's career required long periods away from home. Film productions can take months. Promotional tours can involve international travel. Press events can consume enormous amounts of time. And as his career grew, the demands grew with it. LaTanya also had her own professional commitments. So their relationship required more than romance. It required understanding, compromise, communication, and commitment. LaTanya as a partner in his journey. LaTanya's importance to Samuel's story goes beyond being his wife. She was part of his life during his hardest years. She knew him when he was struggling to establish himself. She witnessed his addiction and recovery. She saw the transformation after Pulp Fiction. She watched him become part of Star Wars. And she watched him become Nick Fury. In other words, she didn't just witness the final chapter. She witnessed the entire journey. Their daughter's own career. Zoe Jackson didn't simply rely on her father's name. She pursued her own path within entertainment. Her work has included production and directing. That makes the Jackson family particularly interesting. Samuel became a legendary actor. LaTanya established herself as an actress and producer. And their daughter developed her own career behind the camera. The family therefore represents multiple sides of the entertainment industry. A private family in a very public world. One of the biggest challenges of celebrity is privacy. Samuel L. Jackson is recognized almost everywhere. His name carries enormous cultural weight. Yet his family has generally avoided making their private life the center of his celebrity identity. That has allowed their relationship and family life to remain relatively protected. For a man who has spent decades in front of cameras, that separation between professional life and private life can be incredibly valuable. More than 4 decades together. Samuel and LaTanya married in 1980. Their marriage has now lasted for more than 4 decades. Think about everything that has happened during that time. The world changed. Hollywood changed. Technology changed. The movie industry changed. Samuel's career changed dramatically. And yet the relationship remained. That's not a small achievement. Especially considering that they entered marriage before Samuel became famous. The secret may be simple. Perhaps there is no mysterious Hollywood secret. Perhaps their longevity comes down to something much more ordinary. They knew each other before fame. They built their careers together. They experienced difficult years together. They raised a daughter together. And they continued choosing their family even as Samuel's career became increasingly demanding. Sometimes the strongest relationships aren't the loudest. They're the ones that keep showing up. Samuel is a father. Being a Hollywood superstar could easily consume someone's life. But Samuel's role as a father has remained an important part of his identity. He and LaTanya raised Zoe while both pursued demanding entertainment careers. And rather than trying to turn Zoe into another celebrity, they allowed her to find her own professional direction. Today, she has established herself within the entertainment world in her own right. That is perhaps one of the greatest compliments a parent can receive. Not that your child copied you, but that your child found their own path. The family legacy. Samuel L. Jackson's family legacy is now bigger than one person. There is Samuel, the legendary actor. There is LaTanya, the accomplished actress and producer. And there is Zoe, the next generation of the family working in entertainment. It's a story that began with two young performers meeting before fame and eventually became a multi-generational creative family. What his love story teaches us. Samuel L. Jackson's career is often described using words like iconic, legendary, record-breaking, unforgettable, but his marriage tells a quieter story. It tells us that success isn't only about becoming famous. Sometimes success is having someone who knew you when nobody else knew your name. Someone who saw the failures. Someone who saw the struggles. Someone who witnessed the comeback. Someone who stayed when life wasn't glamorous. And someone who remained when the spotlight became blinding. Samuel L. Jackson has played countless characters. But none of them has lasted as long as his real-life role as LaTanya Richardson Jackson's husband. They met when they were young. They built careers. They married in 1980. They welcomed their daughter Zoe in 1982. They faced difficult periods. Samuel battled addiction and entered rehabilitation. Then came Jungle Fever. Then Pulp Fiction. Then Star Wars. Then Marvel. And through every chapter, the marriage remained. That's why their story is so powerful. Samuel L. Jackson conquered Hollywood, but he didn't have to conquer his wife. He didn't have to chase fame to find love. He found his partner before the world knew his name. And perhaps that's the sweetest twist in the entire Samuel L. Jackson story. The man who became famous for playing powerful characters didn't need a blockbuster ending in his personal life. He simply needed something much more difficult to find. A love that could survive the spotlight. And after more than 4 decades together, Samuel L. Jackson and LaTanya Richardson Jackson have given Hollywood something rarer than another celebrity romance. They've given it a love story built on history, resilience, partnership and staying power. And their greatest production of all may not be a movie. It's the family they built together.